You know, if there is one thing I literally cannot stand, I can't stomach, is hypocrites. Hypocrites, I can't stand them. But Metatron, I thought you were a Christian and you don't like hypocrites? You should be there. Okay, you know who else didn't like hypocrites? Jesus. He uses that term 17 times in the Gospels. Hypocrites, hypocrites, hypocrite. Me and Jesus. So what you're seeing right now on screen is the so-called Helen of Congo. Congolese. We should give her Congolese citizenship ad honorem because of me, Helen of Congo. So anyways, there is a new interview, guys. And of course, I swear, every day I hate this woman a little more. And I didn't even hate her to begin with. I just hated Marilyn. I didn't have anything against it. I'm like, well, fine, I get it. She didn't choose the cast. She just accepted the role, got the money. Had she been respectful, I would have had no problems. But she's a hypocrite. She's a hypocrite. So now my war extends to her. There's nothing you can do about it. Check this out. Lupita has something to say to Homer himself. Lupita. Another clip is going viral on X with millions of views from a different interview. Jake Hamilton's Jake's Takes Sit Down with the cast, where Hamilton asked the ensemble a hypothetical. If you were sitting in a theater next to Homer and could ask him about your performance, what would you ask? So Damon joked Homer's first reaction would be that the IMAX is awesome, but let's see Nyong'o's answer. I'm gonna get it. We're gonna listen to it. Let's go. So Lupita, what would you ask Homer?
I'd be like, so Homer, how do you feel about the screen time given to these women, considering how little you spent with them? Okay.
So, if she had a chance to speak to Homer himself, she would chastise him and lecture him on modern feminism. Not to mention, as usual, look at that face, look at that face. She's so happy that she could say that. This is an enormous piece of ignorance.
Okay.
Because women aren't nothing, but you didn't read it. What about Athena and her role as the hero, the good...
Okay.
The power and influence of Athena is central to the story. This is unbelievable, guys. I swear, Hollywoods are enemies to the people. First and foremost, the Greek people. They hate you. But in general, to everything. To the truth, to facts, to logics. It is just a propaganda machine of lies to delete and erase white people. And men. And Christians. This is what Hollywood is.
And then do you lean forward and look at him like that?
Yes, like...
Yes, of course.
Remember us? I'd be like...
Unbelievable. I am disgusted. I am disgusted by this woman now. I'm disgusted by this woman. I'll never stop. I will never stop. I see occasionally some people that are trying to shame me in the comments. Oh, why another video? Yeah, another video. I'm not going to stop. I'm never going to stop because I need to fight a good fight. It's me and the good people who don't want to deal with this nonsense. Prepare for cringe.
Good to see you again, my friend, and great to meet you.
Nice
Debatable, highly debatable.
to meet you.
When you found out who you were cast with, and you're both included, this is not just a movie. This is an event.
Yes.
Yes. This is an event. Wow, so profound.
And that's how I'm describing it. You don't just go see this, you embrace it. What
You wish. Never in a million years.
What was your reaction?
Well, it happened in person with Chris. He walked me through the movie he was going to make, and then he
I
told
wonder how he did that, since none of them understand anything about ancient Greek literature. So I don't know how he walked her through it.
me who he would like me to play. And I said he wanted me to read the script first before I made up my mind, and I was like, I've made up my mind. I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, I don't need to read the script. Who cares? Just give me the money.
Of course, I'm gonna do it. And he was like, no, read the script, because they are iconic women, and I never in my wildest dreams did I imagine I would be playing them ever, let alone in a movie with Chris Nolan. Come on, of course it's a yes.
But it's so iconic. I mean, this story precedes everybody, everything. It's just we had to study this.
Mm-hmm.
We know these characters, and you've brought
Do
them.
we?
She does, exactly. Do we? Do we actually know? Because she does, and she specifically said on a separate interview that she had never even read the Odyssey. So do we? She's absolutely right. Do we?
That's quit looking at my notes.
That's a very good question. Do we? Because you might have thought she was a white Greek. But she's not anymore because we swapped her deletion of the Greeks. Let's go.
Same story for you, though. Like when you found out what you were a part of, again, was it a pinch me moment? Was it just like...
Completely, yeah. I mean, it was a pinch me moment when I just got a call saying, you know, Chris wants to work with you again. He's offering you this role. I was like, really? He's just offering it to me because I'd auditioned for Tenet. Like this was you know, and then to find out what it was we were doing was just a whole other layer of
Yeah, I know. Finding out that all you were doing was twisting and butchering the Odyssey, ruining the Greeks, disrespecting the entire country, attacking the very foundations of the West, replacing and re-swapping as many whites as possible, pushing hatred and intolerance, and preparing to call every honest critic a racist bigot. Yeah, that's what you were doing, and that's exactly the face. Because, I mean, it's a lot of work. It's the devil's work, but it is a lot of work.
Expectation and I mean expectation in a positive way, that it was I was thrilled to go on this journey.
All right, now it's time for that question. What do you know more about this story, your character, that you didn't before, that fascinated you?
I said that she was from Congo. I had no idea that Helen was actually from Congo, and that's incredible, because, I mean, I thought she was from Sparta. No, actually, she didn't think that, because she didn't even read the thing. So she didn't think anything. She didn't know anything. So it went from blank state to, oh, so she was from Congo? Gee, I didn't know that. I thought she was from Nigeria. Sudan.
Well, I'd heard, I know I've encountered the myth, the lore of Helen of Troy. And what we know about her is that she's a beautiful woman.
Right.
But I'd never stopped to think about what was like life for her at this time. A woman who's supposedly caused the war. Like, how does she feel about it? And then what is she doing once the war is done? Because she was still very much alive. And this story really explores what...
I wonder why no one thinks about the cheated husband, though. How about that? Because, I mean, at the end of the day, you can say whatever you want. Oh, she must have felt horrible about this, you know, all this stress. Or what about the don't cheat on your husband? It's a little deeper than that. There is a whole humble yourself before the gods. Not that she would even go that level of depth. But I'm just saying, at least that, like, there is a cheated husband in all of this. You know.
Yeah, the interesting thing with Eurylochus is, like, he's, as far as I can tell from the translation I read, he's
He's Greek.
mentioned by name once, and yet his
Translation you read meaning Wilson's translation, right? Let's make that one clear.
An idea that this is the Odyssey. It's about an unproblematically heroic male Western hero, implicitly white, who is good because he crushes the bad guys, monsters, foreigners, and witchy women, and understands the value of hospitality. Xenia, you write it down and get an A on the exam. And the story has a happy ending because the good guy gets back with the objectified wife and regains all his wealth and all his slaves.
Just so we're clear.
his actions have a huge impact on what happens to the crew of men who are trying to get home. So what I really appreciated was how Chris had built that out and really built a wonderful complexity between what Eurylochus is trying to do and what Odysseus is trying to do.
Amazing amount of word salad to say nothing.
The faith he has that's getting eroded, the faith he has in Odysseus that gets eroded as he go along. So having all that to play with was just really wonderful, and it was a sense of the duality of being at war and yet, not still adhering to Zeus's law.
Yeah.
There's a duality of a sort of dissonance to that I found really interesting.
Just so we're clear, guys, so you don't forget, just so we don't forget, not from this movie, but it's still Hollywood. Do you guys remember, it's not like this is their first rodeo, do you guys remember Black Achilles? Well, the guy standing right to him, right on the right, this is Zeus. Just so we're clear, Zeus, Achilles, yeah? Okay. Wonderful. Just so you don't forget. Just so you don't forget what's happening here. Yeah.
What life for her is like after in the aftermath of the war, and I just thought it was really a great way to look at how war affects both those who go to war and those who stay behind, those who cause it, and those who are affected by it.
Which is something we still deal with today.
Absolutely.
Isn't that crazy? This is
Yeah.
what, 3,000, 2,000, 3,000 years ago?
Yeah.
Same question for you. What you know about this more than you did, prior to doing this film? Costumes. You're the only one that I'm asking this question to because no, you are because there's these epic movies. Like my favorite is King of Kings, which I don't even know if you've seen it. Jeffrey Hunter back in the day, big orchestra. It's one of my favorites. But costumes, and this one, watching this gave me that. I'm getting chills thinking about just how grand of a scale it really is to look and feel these costumes.
The costumes! The costumes! He's praising the costumes. You've got to be like, at this point, they are just lying. At this point, they're just saying the opposite of what is true. He's praising the costumes. No, guys, he's praising this. Look at it. Look at it. Look at it. He's praising this as if he saw this. So we are having the reaction that someone saying this would be the reaction onto looking at this. Am I making sense? Yeah, no, I can't do it, guys. I cannot do this. My blood pressure.
What was that like for you?
It was a wonderful process. I loved working with Ellen on these costumes. Again, very collaborative. We have room to play because, how many images do we have at the time?
Oh, shut up. We know exactly what the armor and the costumes look like in period. Shut the fuck up. This is insane. This is driving me insane. This is like they're saying this to annoy me, specifically me. I don't care. You're like, you're no one, Metro. They don't. No. I know they don't know me, but the devil does, and this is specifically directed at me. This is directed at me. This is not normal. We don't know what it looked like. Every time this woman opens her mouth when it comes to this era, first she said it's just a myth, bro. This is a mythological story, she says, as she responds to criticism, completely ignoring the fact that there is a layer of a historical foundation, not to mention the war happened, the siege happened, the kidnapping of the woman happened. This is all mentioned in the Imperial Hittite archives. We've got all of it. Doesn't matter, she says. It's just a myth, bro, so it doesn't matter, you racist bigots. That's exactly what she said. Black Panther, let's see.
What Black Panther should
Culture and if you...
to me.
Very important to represent the country. Don't respect it, right?
Want to reinvestigate the continent and re-represent the continent, and that's important to me.
Very important to represent.
When it's portrayed in cinema, it's very general, and we were all hell-bent on it not being general, so that
really
speaks the language Xhosa.
Really? So you had to learn it?
We needed to learn that language. We needed to, get the accent in English.
Get the accent right.
And everything, though it's a fictitious nation, it is brought to life and derived from Xhosa.
And don't for a second forget that on this very interview about the Black Panther, she was all about the historical accuracy of Wakanda. The historical accuracy, because we have to be respectful to the real tribe, the tribes, African tribes that were used as a basis very loosely to create Wakanda. So we needed to get the language right. We needed to get the costumes right. It's a matter of respect. She said, I've got a dedicated video. This is the same person who then, once you flip that around and be like, but shouldn't we then respect the ancient Greeks when it comes to the representation of the language? Since what we are getting is let's go, daddy. Wonderful words by Homer. Man, I get touched every time Homer tells me, let's go, bro. And when it comes to the costume, she says it doesn't matter, it's just a myth. And now, so she has no respect. And on top of that, now she says, well, we don't really know. But we did know about Wakanda, did we? I just can't, guys. I can't.
And what are we trying to convey through the costumes?
Batman.
With me, I got to wear quite royal garb as both Helen and Clytemnestra, and it was just a wonderful process to build it together and make it fit just right and tell the story, help in telling that.
What does he even mean to build it together? Because you don't know shit. You don't know anything about ancient Greek garb, royal garb, peasant garb, doesn't matter, fisherman at that point. So how can you help the costumist, who's a clown, should be fired, but how can you help her? To do what?
Story of what's happening with them in a very short amount of time.
Anyways, Lupita Nyong'o says Nolan's Odyssey gives women what Homer didn't, because of course she had to accuse Homer of misogyny. And that's the second chapter of this. only on this channel, speaking with the YouTube channel. Well, okay, so speaking with the YouTube channel DC Films Girl during the film's press junket, the Helen of Troy actress was asked about the resilience of the two women she plays. Her answer, open quotes, "What Chris is interested in this film is investigating the cost of war. When he's interested in the money he can make while at the same time virtual signal to the devil-worshipping Hollywood elites. When you read the Iliad and the Odyssey, which she never did, and that is, by the way, I'm making a video about it, but there is a guy who was using that line of attack, by the way, against us, the people who are criticizing this nonsense. Like, you guys didn't even read it, didn't we? Well, she didn't. I know I did. She didn't read shit. But that's never a line of attack. They wouldn't dare. They're scared. They're terrified of the possibility of launching a honest critique against a black woman. Are you out of your mind? You could be cancelled for it. Anyways, when you read the Iliad and the Odyssey, very little time is spent in the perspective of the women. It's told from a very masculine side of things. All right, guys. Lupita Nyong'o thinks she knows better than Homer. But here's the thing, Lupita. Your words will be forgotten in a few months. Homer's words have sustained the test of times through millennia. So who cares? But this film takes time to really consider things from the female perspective. So, for any single one of you who tried to gaslight us into denying the truth that they chose Emily Wilson's translation because of her feminist views, here is proof. She said it. This is what this film does. And how does it do it? Because it's choosing that specific translation, which is misandric. And so we see in Helen and Clytemnestra how this war has affected them both, and they respond to it very differently because their experience of it is different. She closed the thought by saying it was enriching to take the time to humanize the two women and consider what that era looked like for them. You see? She wants to consider what that era looked like for them. Well, in order to do that, you need to know about the era. So any of you that tells me it's not true, bro, it's just a myth, bro. This is historical accuracy. That's what you're looking at. Yes. And she is too, by her own words. She wants to consider what that era looked like for them. And how can you do that if you don't study the historical period and then recreate the culture correctly? This is guys, it's how it is. There is no possible intelligent comeback. The only comeback you can have to this argument of mine that is using her own words and pivoting them against her, the only thing you can tell me now is, no, you're a racist bigot. There is nothing, you're a racist. That's the only thing you can tell me. Because nothing else will work, and you know it. You cannot use bro, why are you talking about historical accuracy? It's just a movie. Well, she just said this, which means she needs the historical accuracy in order to do this. So now she's just disarmed all of you who were saying historical accuracy in a movie, bro. And then the clip is also going viral on X with millions of views from a different interview. Jake Hamilton's Jake Takes Sit Down with the cast, where Hamilton asked the ensemble a hypothetical. If you were sitting in a theater, let's see if we can find it. No, I need to find it. Let's find it. All right.
When you read the Iliad and the Odyssey, very little time is spent.
What's a piece of technology that you feel has enriched your life? What's a piece of technology that you...
After just one bite, her face transformed into a picture of fear and sadness and a real dramatic myself getting a competitive spirit shone through. I am very...
The cast answer with bits. Damon joked Homer's first reaction would be that the IMAX is awesome. The Salon tells us the mythological story. How do they start? Lupita Nyong'o is refusing to defend herself from introvert blowhards. This was from a while ago. Online bigots have been stewing over Nyong'o's role in Christopher Nolan's adaptation. And why is that? Because you're all racists. This is really, and I mean, enough is enough. It is time to say no to the mental manipulation, to the shaming tactics. No. So, if no one else is going to do it, there are the good channels that are doing it. But in the history community, how many channels are actually having the courage to stand and say no? I'm one of those. Now let me know when they cast a white actor for Shaka Zulu, and then we can talk about equality. Hollywood scum. If you appreciate my content so far and wish to help ensure my ability to continue to tell it how it is, regardless of any possible backlash, please support this channel on Patreon. Any support helps me and my team of academics keep the channel strong and gives us the means to fight back against the political rewriting of history. Stand with us, form the wall, defend the truth.